Hey, welcome to the bizarro world. This show is brought to you by the Patriot Trading Group. We offer legal, lawful, constitutional tender. We offer reality, things that you can hang on to, things that you can feel and touch, things that you can actually trust. Gold and silver, legal, lawful tender. Article 1, Section 10, what our founding forefathers thought you should have. Call 1-800-951-0592, and we will help you do that. Take advantage of the pullback today. The bizarro world, up is down, and truly today, white is black. Makes no sense at all. The biggest disconnect ever that I've ever seen, and I know you feel the same. This show also reverberates around the world at allamericangold.com, updated daily with news to comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable, which definitely you're going to fall in one of those two camps with what's going on, the common sense pandemic that is running amok in this country. I mean, it's just sickening. But allamericangold.com, welcome to all our local listeners. We're live on 1010 KXXT, Family Values Radio, here in Phoenix, Flamethrower statewide, as well as the Roar of the Rockies, 1360 KHNC, just hammering northern Colorado. Thank you for all the support we receive in here. We're very proud to be a part of it. I can tell you what's happening in Denver, that the roots of this radio station in Colorado would never stand for it. The old TRT would be in their face. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, yesterday, I've got a ranch about 150 miles north of there. The armed militias just came out downtown because the rumor was they were going to spill out of Spokane. They were going to go riot and burn the shops and streets under the Hotel Coeur d'Alene. And I know you've probably seen it online now, but the farmers came out of the Palouse, locked and loaded. And they just stood there on the streets. Cops were glad they were there. So here we have a country today that the president goes to St. John's Church. He walks over, but yet he's a horrible individual holding a Bible. Horrible individual. The people that burnt the church are saints. Just in case you're having trouble keeping score at home. If you wonder about these insurrection, if you wonder about the undesirables, the troublemakers, the deplorables in this country, you want to know who they are? You people driving down the road, I'll give you a minute. Pull over. Look in your rear view mirror and look at your face. It's you. It's me. We are the problem in this country. They have to get us out of the way. The people that believe in God, country, family, the people that believe in free enterprise, the people that believe in running businesses are the ones that they want to root out, they want to burn us out, they want to club us, they want to get rid of all of us. And the thing that's amazing is that the country is getting behind this. I'm joined with Joe Jaquin, president of Patriot Trading Group, a fellow deplorable, troublemaker, conservative radio. By the time they get this done, Joe Biden's going to George Floyd's funeral in Houston, of course. We all know if you're not black, you're not voting for Joe Biden, or whatever he said. So, I mean, it's sickening and it's disgusting. Good morning, Joe. How are you doing?
Eric, I can echo those sentiments. You know, yesterday, I got a little fired up. I'm not apologizing for it. I know what it's like to be a business owner in this country. These are the people, and let me tell you right now, Wall Street doesn't put people to work, okay? That's fantasy island land. That is lifestyles of the rich and famous. That's their little playground, all manipulated by the central bank.
Well, the biggest disconnect ever in the history of anything is going on now. It's the bizarro world.
I'm going to tell you right now, call the number today. I'm telling you, the greatest 50-day rally in the history of the S&P 500.
Can you believe it?
Right now. And listen, this is exactly what depressions look like. You get these moves that make no sense, and you sit there scratching your head. This is a head fake. It's all it is. It's not based in any form of reality other than the central bank and the federal government's here to bail out rich people. And this is why I lost my mind yesterday. You know, you're sitting there and you're seeing these small businesses, their stores get looted. I mean, you have essentially every one of those stores that you looted. Now, maybe not some of the big chains, right? Now, Macy's, they just filed bankruptcy, and you're out there looting these places. You are putting these people out of business. And for the government and the police departments and the mayors and the governors to sit idly by. Well, the people that make this country great, make no mistake about it, it's the small business owners that make this country great.
Well, the rioters are apparently slowing down a little. They figured out this is like a job. Their parents are kicking them at noon going, aren't you going to go out and burn a store today? You're never going to be anybody if you don't get out there and burn America. This is what is now considered right in this country. Do you understand? Do you understand that the majority of the press and the media is investing in this? Wall Street Journal explained it today. The biggest gap between what's happening in the world and the stock market seems extreme by anybody's standards. The analysts are writing. Nobody can figure out what's going on. But here's what somebody said. They said, well, that we can go a whole year without any earnings and maintain stock valuations, companies. Now, I don't know if they can go if they're burnt out. Okay, and blown out. You say this morning they were showing live in New York, hey, they didn't rip the place to snot last night. And in spite of the fact they didn't, every store is boarding up. They said like they're getting ready for a hurricane. I mean, it's incredible that somehow, and then the ADP jobs number, you got to laugh. I spit coffee out of my nose when I saw it this morning, and we're going to talk about that when we get back. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of new specials being put forth by the American businesses. We'll talk about the new lay-to-waste program. Buy now, pay never. Steal anything you want because you have 0% of getting prosecuted. We'll be back. Yeah, the Target lay-to-waste program. Don't wait for Christmas. Go steal it now. You got no chance of being prosecuted. They'll let you out here.
Well, except for Apple. They're going to track you if you steal any of their stuff.
iPhone. So, but I got to tell you, Arizona, listen, public service announcements, don't drive drunk to the riot, okay? Because you can rob Apple. You can tear the Mercedes store to smithereens.
They'll let you go.
Right, but if you get caught driving a stolen Mercedes drunk, 10 grand, 30 days, baby. They'll let you out for anything else because you're a hero. You're a hero if you go. You burnt St. John's Church. God forbid the president, one of almost every president ever, to walk over to St. John's Church. God forbid he goes and holds a Bible. That's an abomination of the country. The people that burned it are the good people. It's unbelievable. Everything is shut down. Pandemics. Wall Street's roaring. Gold's down $30. I'm just looking at this morning going, I guess I don't get it. I don't get it. That somehow that these people that are doing this are considered the good people in this country. They're going to lead us to hope and change. What about the heroes? The health and economic, I wrote it down.
Recovery.
No, Recovery Omnibus Emergency Act.
Haven't heard anything about it.
The $3 trillion. Well, Wall Street took that away, didn't they? Any panic? No. When we get around to the Heroes $3 trillion Act, we'll just hammer the Dow back down below 20 grand. That'll get everybody straightened out again. This is the new cycle.
I think Wall Street's acting like that's going to happen no matter what.
It's going to happen.
Right. The numbers, we don't care about it. It's going to be around $3 trillion, and they're not going to make us take 5,000 points off the Dow. We'll see.
We're trying to do business news, but it's impossible. So, because nothing makes any sense. So the ADP number.
Now, ADP, this is the private. So the first week of every month, and I do this every month. The first week of every month, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's all about jobs. Starts with ADP. They are by far the least scientific, the least watched, because normally they're usually off by a large margin. Today was really special, though, because last month they said 17 million jobs were lost in April. March, they only said we lost only 177,000 jobs, if you want to believe that one. So we know that over 40 million people And by tomorrow's number, I'm sure it will be 41 or 42 million people have lost their jobs. Okay, we know this.
And filed.
And actually filed for claims.
Right, through the states.
Right.
Right, okay.
So we actually have...
So we have that number.
We know what that number really is. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing math, 18 million. This number should be like 20 million. We knew they would never print that. They were saying that it was going to be somewhere between 8 to 10 million. They came out and said 2.7 million, and that was enough for Wall Street to just, get all excited and all the rest of it. And I'm thinking, there's not one person going to say, wait a minute. Okay, I know you call people on the phone. And I know you talk
That's what they do, right?
Yeah, you talk to some gal in HR.
What they ask them, the ADP
You talk to some gal in HR. I don't know what you asked them.
Yeah, you fire any money? Oh, God, no. What are you talking about?
But where's the other 20 million people is what I want to know.
I don't know. Well, they must be out rioting, I guess.
Well, maybe they're getting paid for that.
They can't answer the phone. Come on. They're doing all they can to hold this together, but it is getting a little ridiculous. The largest IPO, initial public offering of the year, is today, and it's doing really well. Warner Music Group. Now, of course, there's no more. Yeah.
Warner Music Group?
Yeah, Warner, like Time Warner.
No one buys albums anymore.
I don't get it, yeah.
Right? Concerts? There's no concerts. They're
raising $2 billion. I don't know.
What?
Here, I'll tell you what it is. They've gotten rid of R&B, and it's now R&R. That stands for Riot and Rap Music. So get out there and get your earplugs on while you're out there burning the city. And this isn't over. For you people keeping score at home, they need like a SmackDown TV, which is what it's happened to. Turn into Riot TV.
We need to get, instead of the CNN reporters, we need to get the guys that do the wrestling announcing. They need to be out there.
That would be awesome.
Right.
So, I hate to make light of it, but my head hurts. I've got a headache. We're doing this show, the radio, that's watching Fox, watching CNN, watching these idiots trying to spin all this so I can put a semi-lucid radio show together for you. And I have to tell you that I'm just stunned. I am stunned that somehow that you can destroy cities and be a hero. And be a hero. And you can get the media, 90% of the media, to tell you that how great this is. You got elected officials. You see the idiots from Seattle? Unbelievable, thinking rioting is the way forward. That was a statement. Yes, rioting is good. It's a way forward. People can express and we can get change. This is from the city council member. How did these people get in office?
It's okay, honey.
I don't get it. So I just don't get it. I'm just lost. I'll tell you one thing.
Just go out and riot and you'll feel better.
They've defaced or tore down every war memorial, every war picket. Even here in Phoenix, they tore them down. They're all smashed to bits. You think about the 600,000 plus people that died in the Civil War. That was quote unquote. Real historians know better. It wasn't about slavery, but they made it about slavery, and history's about slavery, and they don't want to hear about any of this. And again, it's not the African Americans in this country. It's everything. It's everybody. It's an entire generation. You see, they robbed the Rolex store the other night, got $2.4 million worth of bling.
Yeah, that guy's not out of business. He'll be fine.
Oh, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
Insurance will cover it. Can you imagine trying to file an insurance claim right now?
Good luck.
Could you even imagine?
By the time that guy gets his money, he'll be a bankrupt and done with.
Today, they're supposed to be going on SmackDown Riot Television. They're supposed to be rioting in Newport Beach, California, is the target today. They want to burn down Balboa Island.
This is how it's working now, right? All through this. It's all organized. This isn't innocent people, wanting change and using their rights that have been protected under the Constitution. That's not this at all. This is planned mayhem.
Well, it's unbelievable. So now the parents got to wake them up. Get out there. You got to go burn down. Go kill the people on Balboa Island. Mom, I don't want to get up. Can I do it tonight? No. Get out of the house. 1-800-951. Just remember how ridiculous this all was when the history books are written. So the president was live on KHNC.
Yeah, we had him live.
That's a first on Brian Kilmeade. I thought he did a horrible interview, Kilmeade, but nevertheless, nobody really wants to ask the real questions. But the Joe and I, we were kind of split on the military taking control. We'll see how we all feel by Sunday night. Okay, you think it's over? Oh, but granted, they're tired. It's a lot of work ravaging and pillaging, but they'll be back. Even televangelist Pat Robertson blasted Trump's military response to George Floyd protests taking place across the country.
Now, listen. See, this is the other thing. I don't want to get it confused. This isn't a military response to the protest. I have no problem with that.
Right. No, you're for the
protest
National Guard.
All you want. It's you draw the line at rioting and looting, Eric. There's a difference. Protest, absolutely. Absolutely protest. Riot and looting,
No, I think you should all stay home. I think if you're part of if you go out on the streets now, you realize you're part of the riot, but I know that's not going to happen. What's going to happen when the Trump rallies run in to the George Floyds? Because that's coming. This is an election year.
That won't be a good thing.
Can you imagine? Well,
that won't end well.
North Carolina said, yeah, we don't want the Republican convention. That's that. So they're done with that. So that's over. So I don't know, this is the world we live in. If you don't think things aren't changing, they're changing.
Listen, you want Joe Biden to be president, this is where we're heading. Well,
Joe Biden, the only way he's going to get elected,
where we're heading.
All he has to do, and he almost said it yesterday, all he has to do is say, I believe in reparations. I believe that we should make reparations. Forget everything that's been done. Forget the fact that I watched Laura Ingraham last night pointed out, that all these blue states are run by African Americans. I mean, for the most part, the police chiefs, the mayors, that's just the department heads. And this goes all the way back to the civil rights movements where they hired, all the government jobs went to the minorities, and they've been running this. And they're trying to cover it up with racism, that they've run everything into the ground. They're all broke. These people have been in charge. There's no change. Nobody's helped. Who do you think's been in charge? What about Biden? He was vice president for 8 years, and he's been a politician for how many decades? 4 decades? He was the guy that did all this. If, in fact, there really is
giving
downtrodden
handouts does not work. Doesn't work.
So, I don't know. So just basic laws, and now letting them go. They revamped all the bail in California. So the judge sets bail. Here's how it goes, in case you were wondering. Okay, let me see. We caught you with 7 iPhones. You broke 8 windows. You cracked a police officer over the head. He's in the hospital. His family is around him. He may not make it. We're setting bail at $1 million. And then the public defender says he can't do it. Okay, well, we're going to pretend the bail's $1 million, but you're free to go. If you get in any trouble, we're going to enforce the $1 million. They let them out. There is no more posting bail. Unless you get in trouble, then you come back again, then you got to go. So if you go back out and you hit the Rolex store and you get caught with a Rolex president, now when they lock you up, it is going to the $1 million bail. So you get ollie income free. They just let them out.
The first
free to go.
First one's on the house.
Unless you were drunk and driving a stolen Mercedes or Maybach or whatever it is you decided was yours that you should have, because you'll never be able to afford one. The liminals, I invented that term yesterday, liminals, liberal criminals. I thank Ramon who posted that. Put a liminals definition up on our YouTube site. I think it sticks. The liberal criminals are running amok, but nobody's going to prosecute them, and they know. You know what it all started with? It all started with the walking away from the police precinct. You know what was in that precinct? AR-15s. Flashbangs. They just let them have it. Here you go. Let's arm the protesters, and they all ran away. They left the squad cars. Well, that was their liberal mayor. And when that happened, people are like, "What? What? The police just run away now? You mean you can take over a police precinct?" There's only one person I knew capable of taking over an entire police station. That was Arnold Schwarzenegger, the famous words, right, "I'll be back." So, that...
Him and the Hulk.
Right. So, other than that, and so that's what did it. They're like, really? Yeah, just run amok. Take anything you want. No, the cops are not going to do anything. And this is what started it. Minneapolis started it. So now you get the, you've got, D.C. has last night they had everything under control. They have the National Guard there, which, when you see those H1 Humvees and the half tracks almost, they look like the old half tracks that you used to see in World War II.
See, and this is my point.
So,
just showing isn't usually enough.
I think a tank.
Just showing is usually enough. That the protesters are like, okay, we're going to do our protest, and I don't think we're going to mess around today with these guys.
Why not just put a tank at Paradise Valley Mall? Decorate it at Christmas and stuff, Just put it in the parking lot just to remind you. So, it's where we're heading. You know where we're heading? You want to know where the change is? Here's what's going to happen. They're going to give in to all this, and now, whatever. We're the evil people. But you're not going to be able to go state to state anymore. They made a big deal about that. Crossing state lines to incite a riot. So now you're going to have checkpoints at every state, on every highway. I predict that we'll have that within a year.
What's your business here?
Right. What are you doing here? Where are you going? Or at
least get a corona screening on top of it.
Yeah,
probably,
why
not?
Probably. Yeah, this is the change that's coming. The change is coming, just more crackdowns. Because the riots aren't over yet, and the worst is yet to come. You can say you heard it right here. Patriot Radio News Hour, rocking and firing on the 3rd of June. Another sleepy, dusty Delta day. We'll be back.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily commentary continuing the conservative pro-family legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. Now, the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
It seems like the feminists in Hollywood are trying to make Americans believe that Phyllis Schlafly wanted all women to get married, stay home for their entire marriage, and devote all their attention to their children. Yet the truth is different. Phyllis Schlafly's mother, Odile, worked as a librarian to support her family when Phyllis's own father lost his job in the Great Depression. And Phyllis herself was no slouch either. She was a published author, congressional candidate, and powerful political force before the fight over the Equal Rights Amendment even began. If exclusive matrimony and motherhood for all was Phyllis Schlafly's prescription, she would have been contradicting herself. The problem with Hollywood's characterization is it's taking Phyllis's position totally out of context. The very first line of the iconic February 1972 issue of her Phyllis Schlafly Report newsletter says this: "Of all the classes of people who have ever lived, the American woman is the most privileged. We have the most rights and rewards and the fewest duties." Phyllis's reasoning for this ultimately boiled down to one word: choice. America affords women the choice to get married or not, to have children or not, to volunteer or not, and to take on a career or not. Phyllis Schlafly was fond of saying that she never told all women to do anything. She did say getting married and having children was the most fulfilling thing for most women. However, she fully embraced the fact that this wasn't the way for everyone. Feminists want to take away the right of women to be full-time homemakers. Their venomous rhetoric calls the home a, quote, comfortable concentration camp, and refers to wives as, quote, unpaid prostitutes. That's what the feminists think. They sometimes make lip service to homemakers, but the feminist policies call for families with homemakers to incur huge tax penalties. They have zero respect for the real right of choice. Phyllis famously said she had it all, but not all at once. Educated at Washington University and Harvard, married with 6 kids, she became a legendary political activist. Her time on this earth was full and fulfilling, but she had different focuses for different seasons of her life. And she wished the same for others. She wanted every woman to have the chance to pursue her dreams with the full freedom that America offers.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. In 2016, the conservative movement lost one of our strongest leaders, but Mrs. Schlafly's work and her voice continue through this radio program, our work in Washington, and the influence you have in your own community. Be part of that legacy at phyllisschlafly.com. We encourage you to bookmark phyllisschlafly.com and join us again for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
How you guys doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. In a world gone absolutely crazy, Glenn, one of our broadcasters, texted me, don't forget that Rambo took on the police station, but they fought back. So, here, look, Brian, another one of our broadcasters, sent me a picture. Yeah, it's like they're troop troop movers. They need to go park them downtown or stick them in the malls, big flatbeds. And it's coming. But again, are we heading into military style? It may happen. If they can't get this under control, they're not going to stop. What's going to make them stop? Nothing. They need to hand out more stimulus, though. That might help slow it down. But Wall Street has now killed all stimulus. We're going to need a huge down day, panic, maybe a couple of down weeks. Get another $3 trillion out. Oh, my God, you got to get it out before the businesses go under. Well, they're already shut down and burning. So what more can you do? They got to keep sending checks.
Well, look at it. Here, let me give you an example. Here's a great example of what doesn't make any sense. One of the largest mall operators in the country, CBL and Associates, they have 108 malls that they own in 26 states. They missed their interest payment of $11.8 million on their bonds and are getting ready to file for bankruptcy protection if they can't get something done. The company said that last month it only received 27% of all rent bills due in April. Wow. And they estimated that they're going to see the exact same amount in May.
73% default.
And, of course,
Manhattan was at 38 last I read.
73% of people, again,
at their shopping malls.
26 different states, 108 different malls. This is the facts.
Crazy. Here, you want to be scared? I don't like to scare people. I just like to get the facts out. Fry's Electronics. You been to those stores?
Big electronics store.
Giganosaurus. They look like they've been looted, the one up the street here, but it hasn't. But my friend of mine, Cliff, at Copper State, I talk about him a lot. He's a good guy. Told me he was in there last week. He goes, Eric, everything is gone. Even the little make-it-yourself computers and all the little attachments and gadgets and, anything that you need to be an electronic digit head is gone. The bins are empty. Televisions, everything are gone. Gone. This is a supply line.
Yep.
So on top of what's being looted, I don't know what's going to happen.
You don't stay in business if you don't have product to sell. How about Driller, Templar Energy? They owe $426 million. They just filed for bankruptcy. It's going to be a liquidation. Bondholders are going to get, ready for this, 21 cents on the dollar. That's it. After they liquidate Templar.
Consider themselves lucky. They only lost 79% of their money compared to what's happening. How about this one? The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has authorized the emergency use of 6 at-home COVID-19 do-it-yourself test kits. How about that? But experts say their accuracy and affordability is in question. They're very expensive. I took one this weekend. I was negative for coronavirus, but it turns out I am pregnant. I'm expecting. So
congratulations.
I got the little blue thing, and I'm like, wow, that explains the belly growing. So, okay. I'm trying to keep it a little bit light, but it isn't. This is very sad. Longtime GOP rep, Iowa, my home state where I was born, Stephen King. He's been around, Steve King, but he lost his Iowa primary. Republicans in Northwest Iowa ousted Rep. Steve King yesterday, deciding they've had enough of the conservative lightning rod, known for making incendiary comments about immigrants and white supremacy through his nearly 2 decades in Congress. It's over. This is what you need to understand. It's over. Everything down, even Webster's dictionary, all the monuments, the history of the country is all going to get wiped out and wiped clean and start all over again with the new paradigm. Can't we all just get along? I'm telling you, when the dollar collapses under this debt load, and it will, and we go into hyperinflation, it's just going to even the playing field. So all the people that have never worked, and opposed to all the people that have worked their whole lives with savings, your entire savings isn't going to get you a loaf of bread.
I'm going to tell you right now, Jay Powell flat out lied to all of us again when he was out on the idiot box. What was that, a couple of weeks ago, saying, oh, no, we're not talking about negative rates. No, of course not. Absolutely, we wouldn't. And then all of a sudden, here comes the papers written by The Economist. This one from the St. Louis Federal Reserve. Yen is the guy that wrote the paper. He's an economist for the St. Louis Federal Reserve, saying that if Wall Street wants its V-shaped recovery, there's only one way to get it, and that is negative interest rates in the United States.
That's the real market rally right there. So trust me, it isn't Warner Records, and it isn't the fact that only 2.7 million people, according to ADP, lost their jobs. Just the state of Idaho, North and South Dakota all lost their jobs in a week or two. That's what market's going to rally. No, they know.
Aggressive policy means that the U.S. will need to consider negative interest rates and aggressive government spending, such as spending on infrastructure, among other things.
All that is stopped. All that is stopped. We haven't heard anything about that because of the great equity market rallies and gold's going down. There's only two places you can put your market, into equities or into commodities. That's it. Can't put it in the bank. Why would you give it to a treasury? Why would you give it to a government? So why would you? Because they're going to charge you money to do it. So this is where the money's going to get forced to go. Wait till this really does come full circle, because we haven't seen anything yet. We are in the infancy, baby stages of change. Mark Cuban now is the latest public figure to speak out against racial injustices following the death of George Floyd. Taking to Twitter, the owner of the NBA Dallas Mavericks said that white people need to change their lives in order to change the narrative. Dear white people, we are the ones that need to change. This is not one man's story. This is almost every black man's story, which is why the problem is ours. We need to find our way to change what we do. Now, the numbers have come out that more white people are shot unarmed by police on any given year in this country than people of color. Okay, those numbers are on the street. They don't want to recognize that. So, but again, it's the country that we live in. And again, the Dear White People letter from Mark Cuban is going to be repeated.
It's easy to write that letter when you're a billionaire.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's real easy.
Of course, there's going to be nothing left of the Dallas Mavericks. There's going to be nothing left of the NBA. Nothing. This kid keeps going to fruition, so it's done. Factory orders fell a little in April. They fell 13% in April, slightly larger than the 11% decline in the prior month, the Commerce Department said today.
By the way, it's the biggest decline
ever
in the history
of the country.
Of the entire country.
It's just crazy.
Everything's wonderful.
It's amazing. Durable goods orders fell a whopping 17.7%. Car sales are getting hammered, and it's just unbelievable. But we all know this is good for equities. Pillaging and burning of the country is good for America. So you people trying to keep score at home are probably just as confused as I, as Liminals have gone wild. We'll be back, I think, when we make it through the break.
It's the midnight rally.
Well, for all you rioters out there, the world owes you a living, so get out there and take it. I started paying taxes at age 15. You know, they give you those printouts. You can go to your Social Security account and shows you what you get.
Yeah, the one that it's just for you.
Right,
got
shows
your
you
name
every
on it.
year,
Yeah,
so
shows you how much money you think you got in there.
I started paying it in 1974. These people rioting have never paid a nickel. Never into this country. Now, here's a moment that, again, a head-scratcher. Absolute head-scratcher. Globalism, when it was first put forward, then even Nixon, even all the way back to Nixon when he went and visited the Chinese, he went to Red China. Back whenever the news said the word China, they said the word red just to remind us they were commies and that we'd lost a lot of American blood on foreign soils to root out communism. And the whole idea when they were able to perpetuate globalism was that, we all have to get along, and B, they have to invest in America. If they're going to rob it, okay, if they're going to take American industries, cars, radios, it started with Japan, cars, radios, everything made in Japan, that they had to buy treasuries. Okay, you had to do that. So, and this is how you perpetuate it. So they invest in America. Japan actually made a mistake and bought real estate. Remember, they bought up Hawaii in the 80s, and everything crashed, and they lost everything. Their Nikkei fell. But China, stepped in. So Japan is still our number one holder of treasuries.
Well, China took them over, but China's been slowly selling.
So now they're number 2.
Yeah, Japan is now number 1 again.
Well, yesterday this story breaks, and again, a head-scratcher. This should be at least $500 to $1,000 an ounce to gold, just this story, and it didn't. Gold's down $30. But tensions between Washington and Beijing, because remember, we're a debt-laden society. Our currency value is now how it stacks up. It's fiat money. How it stacks up and floats against other currencies in the world. And in order for that to have value, people need to invest into our debt system. When they don't invest, obviously they see no value. If the currency, the petrodollar, the currency worldwide, loses its allure or value, where they're like, nah, we don't think it's worth the paper it's printed on, then you got a problem. So now the tensions between Washington and Beijing, this again is right off of CNBC, are now feeding worries that policymakers in China are going to sell their $1 trillion hoard of treasuries. Now, this would have been absolute horrific, market-shaking, incredible news just 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, before the pandemic, and they hand out trillions of dollars now like it's lollipops. So $1 trillion, the concerns are intensifying that China is already gradually shedding its holdings of U.S. debt. But Deutsche Bank's analyst warns investors not to mistake a slight pullback from China as a sign that Beijing is scrambling for ways to retaliate against the United States, which has been ratcheting up its pressure on the world's second largest economy over the handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. Which, again, nobody knows what's going on with that. They asked Trump on Kilmeade this morning what was happening with the new Chinese legislation, and he said, well, the minute we got it inked, COVID-19 hit. So nobody knows where they're at. There's no reports, no enforcement, no anything. But a lot of people are interpreting the bilateral U.S./China rhetoric as just that. So they think China's motivated by more than just domestic political considerations, as they believe the U.S. economy dollar may be in trouble. So they're kind of talking about, the rumors are out that they've hit or going to hit the sell button on U.S. debt. Now, normally, in order to get someone to replace them, you have to raise interest rates. This is, again, the bizarro world. Superman should be president. I mean, at least anything right now, when the riots go up, they should put the bat, the spotlight in the sky. We need Batman.
Where's Commissioner Gordon?
Right, we got to get him down here to the stores, to the mall right away. But we need Superman in the bizarro world, because we are in the bizarro world. So instead, they're talking about, instead of interest rates literally skyrocketing because the number 2 holder of U.S. debt hit the sell button, they're talking about going negative. So the only people that's going to buy this now, you can forget foreign investors, is banks that are subsidized by the people that are buying the treasuries. Okay, the people that are selling the treasuries. So the Fed and the Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury, the Fed gives the banks money into the Federal Reserve, and they turn around and invest in the treasuries. Crazy. It's absolute insanity. And again, I said it last week, and I know Ramon posted it up on one of our icons, that the patsy, if you're in a poker game and you don't know who the patsy is, it's you, because I don't get it. I was literally expecting gold to be up $200 or $300 Monday after watching the city's riot. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed with any of this. It's just going to be the riot du jour for God knows how many years, maybe for the rest of our days. So, again, take the time to add to your portfolio, buy on the dips. We have something that's a great package here. Joe put it together. It's got 2 United States $10 Indians. That's series 1907 right up to gold confiscation in 1933. Stunning material. Beautiful. 2 U.S. $10 Indian gold pieces and a 10-ounce silver bar at $18.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good buy. That's the lowest price in the country on that. So you get the 2 Indians and a 10-ounce silver bar, shipped and delivered, $2,300 on the head. And just to add to it, we'll box it. It comes out registered, insured mail from a very innocuous-looking box from some strange little company with an acronym of PTG. Not even the postman knows what you're getting. Add $70 if you want to put it on a credit card and give some money to the banksters.
So 2 $10 Indians and a 10-ounce silver bar.
At $18 an ounce. So
What's silver right now? Oh yeah, just under $17.95.
Yeah, we were bumping up on 19. Well, they've done a good job this week.
Well, that was resistance. A little sell off there. Gold went right back to resistance. 1685. Gold has hit resistance. This is like the 10th time. If it was a stock, it'd already be at new all-time record highs. Gold bounced off of that earlier this morning. Gold's at $16.99, down 27. Silver at $17.95. Right.
10-ounce silver bar, $18, and two $10 Indians. Total 2,300 delivered.
Oh, by the way, I only have 16 packages. That's it. That's all the silver bars I've got.
It's amazing, isn't it? Call 800-951-0592. I've heard some horrific stories about online traders selling information as to where and which house the gold and silver is going to. You don't want people to get a hold of that information and pick you out to Riot. Patriot Radio News Hour. Yeah, you heard that right going in. So one of the big online metals companies, apparently a disgruntled employee sold the names and addresses of some of the large purchasers. One of the guys' house got ransacked. So, well, one of the suppliers told me about it. Now they're pressing charge against. We don't have any disgruntled employees here, so your information is...
No, our employees work here forever, then retired.
Yeah, retire. Wendy's retired. 1-800, we got great package. 2 U.S. $10 gold pieces, which happen to be of the Indian derivation, very hard to get, and a 10-ounce silver bar, which is kind of neat. You know, those are kind of fun to have. So.
They're plastics. We got all kinds of different ones. They got different designs on them. Really nice-looking material.
This is a set-it-and-forget-it thing. You know, you'll be glad. All the people that have been buying here they don't know what they have.
A silver eagle today. We went and looked all over the place, and like if someone wanted a 2020 silver eagle, if you can find them, what was the cheapest price you saw yesterday? $29 an ounce.
And change. Yeah.
29 and change an ounce. In this package, the silver is at $18.
It'd be like unleaded gas for 50 cents a gallon on the exchange. The same exchange they sell silver, but yet out of the pump is $3. That's, again, how they do it. They're able to manipulate the paper markets, but the real markets, the real things, they cost money. So, yeah, you get a 10-ounce silver bar at $18 an ounce. We'll throw it in that package. Doing the best we can do to help you get prepared for the next leg of the socioeconomic destruction and the absolute obliteration of anything that was any semblance of the United States of America as we know it. I mean, just to be able to stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance in a classroom, you may never be able to go back into a classroom. So, I mean, it's just the tectonic shifts. Now they're wondering if it's going to get to where they won't allow you into grocery stores. That's the latest. That's a interesting story that came across the news wires today. So,
well, that would make Amazon's day, wouldn't it?
Yes. So, not only do you have runaway prices, but they're worried that, again, the coronavirus is definitely taking a back seat to anything. And it turns out that only the ones that actually entered the malls, that went in like Fashion Square, Fashion Island, if they went inside, they could have all given themselves coronavirus, apparently rioting in the streets.
It's fine.
You're fine. So stay outside and wear your mask. Mayors that tell people to social distance and wear their mask while rioting.
Where are all the people? Remember how you're getting yelled at by people for not having your mask and standing too close to each other? Where are those people during the riots?
And to add insult to injury, if you don't ever trust the governor or government, they gave Carol Baskin Zoo. They gave Joe Exotic Zoo to Carol Baskin yesterday. Why he's in jail? So.
That was a Tiger King.
Yeah, the Tiger King. People know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, then you don't have Netflix. But I mean, it's crazy, absolute insanity. The bizarro world. So, Superman, where are you? Where are you, man? We need you now. So, markets. Let's take a final look at the markets, Joe, before my head explodes.
All right. Well, the Dow is up 384 points. We can't tell if what it is, but probably I think it has probably more to do with negative interest rates than anything else. Gold's down 29. Silver's down 32 cents. 210 Indians and a 10-ounce silver bar, $2,300 delivered.
We got 13 left.
800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back tomorrow.